Hey everybody, welcome to my live stream. As I get the situation going here and the chat gets populated, I actually just kind of wanted to mess around with this toy of mine. Toy or tool? It's called a geochron. It's a live world map. You've probably seen me do a couple live streams with this exclusively. But this is an accurate depiction of what the world looks like right now, where it's sunny, where it's dark. You can see in California, it's been dark for several hours now. Hawaii just went dark a few hours ago. And also overlaid here, as well as weather and the International Space Station and the Hubble Space Telescope. Those trajectories are yellow and purple on here. You can also actually see 58 of the 4,800 United Airlines airplanes that are in flight. 4,887 airplanes in flight right now. That does seem like a lot. But I guess that's true. Think about globally. It's obviously a lot of different times in the world. It's not just 10:06 p.m. where I am here in California. But hey, welcome to the live stream, by the way. I really appreciate you checking in. Like I said, I'm going to give this a couple minutes to populate. I want to get all your good questions and comments in, including Zach wasting no time firing right away at my hair. Please, it's time to get a haircut. Zach, let me make your day or night. Well, your night, yeah. I know you're in Canada, so I know it's nighttime for you. I will be getting a haircut later this month. That's right. You got to shake it off. That's Taylor Swift, the 8-bit version. Right? Shake it off. Shake it off. A lot of people have been saying that this hair is bad luck lately. May I remind you, it's the same hair that lasted the entire baseball season of 2020 when the A's won the equivalent of 97 games and their first playoff series since 2006. Oh, look at Chris Bassett is here. No, that's not really Chris Bassett, but that's Bassett above all else. I like the way you put it too. Bassy in the house. See, look it. You're already saying it, Chris. You think my hair might be cursing the A's. Again, this hair, without getting cut, it certainly worked last season. Hey, Brody, a couple months ago, I missed the hockey team, and it's really demotivated me. Is there any advice you could give me to keep me motivated? You mean in life or just with the San Jose Sharks or something else? I think the Sharks have the potential to make the end of this season really interesting still. I mean, as if it's not right now. I still think this next stretch against all the SoCal teams, they can make a little bit of ground. Curious to see where the St. Louis Blues go in their season. This story is not complete, and I think a lot of people have the idea of where it's going. They have the gut instinct of where it's going, but until it actually does, you just do not know. Constantine, am I coming back to do Sharks games? As of right now, full transparency, yes. I'm coming back for one game on the schedule right now. As of right now. And I think you probably know which one that is. April 19th in Las Vegas, when Patrick Marleau surpasses Gordie Howe. This desk is wood, so I'll knock on it. That's the plan. Is that I'll come back and do that game. And obviously, look, if the hockey season dictates it, I'm definitely in the position. I'm ready to do it, ready to come back and do what's needed for the team. And I think, I hope I explained it properly a while back. Basically that, this year with a couple of different protocols and the condensed NHL season, playing almost every other night with the exception of this past week, it was not logistically possible for me to do what I've always done. And that's this time of year, bounce back and forth, couple Sharks games, couple A's games on the off nights, go back and literally work every night for a month straight. And in fact, I've even pulled double headers on an annual basis. There's usually one Saturday every year where I do a baseball game in the afternoon and a hockey game at night, or vice versa. But that's just not possible this year, no matter how much I even wanted that to happen. It's just not possible. So as of right now, coming back for the Patty game, and I do look forward to it, and I hope not only The record being set would be nice alone, but I hope the icing on the cake is a defeat of the Golden Knights. What do I think will happen at the NHL trade deadline with the Sharks? I don't foresee anything being imminent right now. I think other teams are probably looking at their pieces. I know the names Matt Nieto and Marcus Sorensen have been floated out there. As well as, look, Devin Dubnyk, I think, would offer teams depth, veteran presence, security blanket. Remember when the Sharks went out and got James Reimer that year they went to the Stanley Cup final? I think of Dubnyk in that same Reimer category. And it's not to say that a team is acquiring him because they know that he's their guy all of a sudden, but he's nice insurance. He's a complement to what you already have. It's kind of like having a parachute. And even in the Sharks playoffs of 2016, my thought the entire time was, well, if Jones ever falls off or something slips up here, it's almost like having a ripcord on a parachute. You pull that ripcord when a series isn't going well, and all of a sudden you have another competent goalie in there to try and win you some games. So I'm not trying to sell Dubnyk away. I'm not. I just think that he'd be enticing to some other teams. Oh, hey. And I don't know if I'm saying this right. A-tire. You love the flow. So you know what? I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Obviously, thank you for being part of the Super Chat. I feel like for that, I should give you a little something, right? That's probably not what you wanted. But I do have to say, I haven't declared this yet, but late April, I guess I did say late April, there is a haircut scheduled for me by the end of this month. I'm going to miss the headband. I got this in November. And I thought, you know what? This headband really does a functional job. It keeps hair out of my way. It's comfortable. I feel better when I'm wearing the headband. And I'm also realizing that in just about 3 weeks' time, there's not going to be a use for this headband. In fact, it's going to have no purpose. Maybe it's going to be a sleep mask for me. That's actually not comfortable. It's like scratching my eyelashes. Yeah, that was not good. And now I look now I'm all discombobulated. All right, that's good enough. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And as I always say, when anybody jumps in the Super Chat, that all goes to keeping this home YouTube studio running. Always trying to upgrade it, give you the best quality, give you the best product, do the most videos. And that's exactly where this goes because it's the only way that this thing has even been built up to this extent. So I really do appreciate it. Did I boo the Astros when they were in Oakland? Can I plead the fifth? Can I tell you no and give you the... In all seriousness, Ezekiel, and I like your avatar, by the way. That's cool. The entrance to the parking lot there. I heard and saw so much of that, and I clearly over 4 days, and I wonder, is this fans just getting it out of their system, or is this going to last all season? And I truly think it's probably going to last all season in the 70-plus more road games that the Astros have. And, hey, at this point, what are they, 6-1? Maybe it's working in their favor. Maybe what fans think is going to detract them, or detract from them is actually going to help the Houston Astros out. Maybe fans are just fueling the fire that they have. But in all reality, no. I did not boo anybody. In my mind, I did. And in my mind, it's rough to see these players continue on their careers having, never really been punished or even questioned publicly or not forced to show any remorse. I mean, their punishment is to exist in road ballparks where fans boo them. That's their punishment. And then fans are going to do, all of that and maybe too much more, like throw garbage cans on the field as they did in Anaheim. And I actually do worry about, what's the next step? Like, what's the next thing that fans are going to do to try and one-up that? And it's going to lead down a path of, what are we doing anymore? And every fan base, they want to get their 2 cents in. I totally get it. Knowing what pitch is coming, the whole trash can banging situation, that is far worse than taking steroids. And we know how long the steroid conversation, dilemma, investigation went on. Let's keep going here. Oh, hey. And the crowd goes wild. Let's go through the comments section here. Wow. M-Lam. Need to get drunk to forget about the A's woes. What should you drink? You know, I don't know what your beverage of choice is. May I recommend at least a double IPA? Maybe a glass of red wine? A cab, maybe? Or if you're going to go to the hard alcohol, how about a 7 and 7? Just throwing that out there. Or vodka tonic. That's actually, you know what I said 7 and 7? What I meant to say was vodka tonic. Go for a vodka tonic. That was the official, unofficial drink of Brody Brazil from 2007 to about 2011. And then I hit 30 and I stopped doing that. Seriously, Sour Pig. I don't even, everybody says Discord server. I just turned 40, by the way. I don't even know what that means. And I'm not trying to play the, I'm an old guy card and I don't, I'm too cool for that. I honestly don't know what that means. And if you could tell me or help me or why do I need that, I would really appreciate it. You know the answer to that, Zach. I don't miss that guy. We have texted, yeah. So he probably does miss me, but I don't miss him. I saw him on TV the other night, and it's just apparent to me he needs carrying. He's like my son, Sometimes you just got to lift him up and be like, hey, buddy, I got to carry you. Sorry. You were trying really hard. You were really trying to make a good show, but I'll carry you. It's fine. B-Dog, thank you. I can't agree with you. Even I'm saying that. I'm looking forward to the haircut. Do I think the A's will bounce back? Yes. The only question / issue / real big concern I have is when and how much do they need to bounce back? Let me dive into this here for just a second. Last year, the A's went 7-3 in the regular season against the Astros. They outscored them 38-25. So far in 5 meetings this year, Oakland obviously hasn't won a single one of them, and they've been outscored 41-11. Now, the playoffs, to me, were a totally different beast. Last year in the ALDS, and it was home run derby at Dodger Stadium. I still can't process what exactly I watched. But at least in those games, the A's were in them. And they'd fight back, and they would have the potential to score, 2 or 3 at once and get within 1 or take a lead, even if they relinquished it. They were in those games as much as they lost the series pretty decisively. They were in that series. But this year, these games, the Astros scored the first 6. A's got the final 2. It was almost like, you're trying to really figure out the significance of those last 2 runs. Do they mean something? To some people, yes. To some people, no. But I am perplexed. I don't know really what's happening. How could a team like the A's look so different overnight? Clearly, I understand as much as you do all the departures they had. And I'm actually thinking, the obvious ones get mentioned. KD, Marcus Semien, Liam Hendricks. I think equal to those that come off the top of your brain are others like Tommy La Stella, Robbie Grossman. I believe that they did lose a little bit of depth, but they're not an entirely different group, and they are looking and playing and getting the results like one. So it's mind-blowing to me, to be honest, what we've seen. And again, I do have the confidence that they will snap out of this. They will be back to themselves. But when, where, and how late will it be at that point? I don't know. Pulling the Rafa Nadal look with the headband. I do kind of feel like a tennis player. And by the way, I did get a tennis racket for this past Christmas. My wife and I, when we have gotten the several chances since Christmas, I know that sounds lame, but it's true. When you have a almost 4-year-old, the several chances we've had to get out there and play against each other, it's been a lot of fun. I like tennis. I think tennis is going to grow on me in the coming decade here of my 40s. Brownie looks lonely without me? All right, you know what? I got to do this again while it's on the screen. I got to give you a pose so I can screenshot it. There you go. Let me give you somebody screenshot this and send it to Curtis. Wait, no. How should I do this here? Grab it? No, that way. There, send that to Curtis. What am I doing? Oh, it's A Tire is a shortened version of my name, Aiden. Oh, and your middle name, Tier? Oh, gosh, I'm sorry, Aiden. I don't know. I'm probably not saying that right. It's incredibly confusing for some people, I know. And you know what? I'm sensitive on pronunciation because, Brody's pretty easy, but a lot of people get that one wrong too. And especially as a broadcaster, I'd like to know in the back of my mind that I'm getting it right for you. So I apologize if I didn't get it right there. Oh, Trevor Rosenthal had surgery today. They had to take out a rib. It does not sound pleasant. Trevor Rosenthal's going to get checked in about 8 weeks. The soonest he could come back, the soonest, is in 12 weeks. That's 3 months. That's like all-star break to be realistic. And at that point, you got to build up all your strength again. You got to do spring training essentially all again, throw in some simulated games. The A's were so excited to land a closer like that so late in the game. And now so late in spring training, he has a devastating injury. Oh, man. And the A's haven't even been in a closing. It's hard to believe I'm saying this. We're 8 games into the season, and they've yet to be in a save situation. So they haven't even required a closer yet. Hopefully they will soon. But I don't know that role has been decided or won or it's figured out. Like Bob Melvin and company know what they're going to do in different situations, but I don't think it's going to be just one name to get that job done. Carter. You know what? This question hasn't necessarily been asked or a lot or recently, but how did I get into Bay Area sports? Well, number one is I grew up here. Honestly, somewhere in the middle school age range, I got really captivated by video production, and I was always playing sports as a kid. So naturally, high school, those two kind of combined. Did an internship while I was in high school. That's an unheard of thing here in this day and age anymore, because nowadays you have to be in college. It has to be credited. It has to be reimbursed, I believe. But I got into interning and working and covering high school sports from pretty much the year 1999 I did it until about 2007. I also did several other things, including started working with the A's about 2005. Maybe earlier. I'm sad that I'm losing track of all those years, but early 2000s, started working with the A's. And so just like that, and that was my first job. It took me up until 2008. Then I was actually out of the business for about a year. We know that the recession was happening, and my last job, everybody got laid off. That did not sit well with me for the 2008 calendar year, but it helped motivate me to get the job that I still have to this day. It started in 2009 with Comcast Sportsnet, became CSN, became NBC Sports California. And so I guess the long way around answering this, Carter, sorry, I tried to be quick, but I've always loved sports. I've always loved production. And, I've been working now for 20 plus years, and it's more than half my life that I've been doing this stuff. And I hope it's another 20 years easily, certainly. So that's how I got into it. Always passionate about, the teams around here. And if you had to ask me growing up, who are my teams? A's, Sharks, and Warriors. And it really not one football team or the other. Although my age range is weird because the Raiders only came back in the mid-90s. By then, the 49ers had already won Super Bowls. And, when I was a kid, it was Montana, Rice, Roger Craig. Like, how could you not? Plus, I'm named after John Brody, 49ers quarterback. So how could I not side on the other side of the bay? Side on the other side of the bay. So it's weird. Even though I'm an East Bay guy, I don't have the Raiders, connection just because they weren't here. They were in Los Angeles when I was of those impressionable years. Why weren't the Astros punished like the Black Sox? Shoeless Joe Jackson did nothing wrong and was banned. It just, and I think, Moonglow, to answer your question, the hard part about all this is if Major League Baseball had doled out punishment, done it swifter, figured out a better way to do all of this, you, the fan, wouldn't feel responsible for going to games and heckling them to be part of the punishment, right? Like you'd say, all right, they got theirs. What more do I need to say? And some people would still rub it in, but the fact that, only the manager and only the front office either lost their jobs or were disciplined, it's, A.J. Hinch, like what did he do? Like, think about Shoeless Joe Jackson. Did A.J. Hinch bang on a trash can? I mean, I'm sure, absolutely sure, he knew what was going on and didn't stop it. I don't think he started this. I don't think it was his idea. I don't know that he enhanced it or ever hit a baseball because of it. But they punish him and not any of the players who were, like, behind all of it. So, it's, and I understand the frustration with the fan base. I definitely do. Gin and tonic. Oh, that's what Jordan is suggesting for the nightcap for A's fans. Everyone is missing the main question. How's your day? Oh, thank you, B-Dog. I appreciate that. These work days for me are pretty routine. I definitely spend some time with my son because I know I'm not going to be around in the afternoon or evening. Try and give my wife a little bit of a break. I try and get a Peloton ride in. Wait, did I do that today? I did do that today. I forgot about that. Try and get a good workout in, give me some energy for later in the day. So I did that. Honestly, this is the start of free time for me. And when I say free time, I got home at 9-something, so I won't be doing this too much longer. And if my son wakes up, which I'm watching him on the baby monitor over there, you know what I realized? I have not even, on this entire live stream, I've not shown this camera yet. I feel like I owe this camera some more time. Anyway, the monitor's over there, so I'm watching him sleep, and if he wakes up, I would have to actually leave here and tend to that. But yeah, it's been a decent day so far. No complaints. I will be ready to hit the pillow. Like I'm actually kind of tired, to be honest with you. All right. Now you're also probably getting a good view. Oh, it just went away. But yeah, you're getting a good view here of my little chat screen. This is kind of how I go through the chat comments and highlight one on the screen. We need a Brody Brazil Discord server. Godenthal, I'll tell you, if I knew what that meant, does it require effort by me? Can I just sign up? Or what am I even doing? What am I getting out of that? What is that? I honestly don't even know. Oh, Discord is a private chat that all the fans can jump in and talk, text, chat, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. All right. Good to know. And I guess if I had one of those, then it would kind of keep, kind of like a private small conversation. And if there's, look, I don't believe in saying, hey, people get lost that we don't like, but sometimes when you're on social, you're on Twitter and anybody can fire off comments at you. I don't know. You feel less encouraged to use the platform when it's, a couple bad apples ruin it for you, basically. I say that and I'm watching my son thinking about waking up over there. Oh, nope. Now he's done. All right. I'll go through a couple more questions and comments here. Who's my favorite A's player? I don't need to answer, but I've already clicked on it. So, over all time, I can't just narrow it down to one. I mean, let me go back in the day. Terry Steinbach, Carney Lansford. Over the years, Nick Swisher for probably more personal reasons, but I love the way he hustles. Stephen Vogt. Yeah, this could go on and on. If you're asking me favorite player on the team right now, and I'm going to disqualify Chapman. I'm going to disqualify Olsen. In fact, I'm going to disqualify Laser Ramon. Only because these ones are too obvious. Like, you guys know these are the ones that I would attach to. But the one that I don't think that I would attach to would be Chad Pinder. So I'm trying to make it interesting because there's a couple names I could mention. I'll go with Chad Pinder. Why am I not on pre and post games for the Sharks anymore? And I'll say it again here. I don't want to do it too many times for those who've been watching a little bit longer, but it's simply a matter of this year, crossover for me back and forth isn't possible just because of some restrictions, some safety protocols and precautions, and because of the condensed NHL schedule and how far the regular season overlaps with baseball. You know, I get a little input on my schedule, but ultimately I'm not in charge of that. And this is what it is. And you know, I felt incredibly guilty to just up and leave the Sharks at the very last day of March. And I am coming back for the Patty Marleau Gordie Howe game scheduled for April 19th. So I will be back, but yeah, it's just a hard year for that. And I take a lot of pride in going back and forth, and I hope that in 2022, in the spring, I can do that again. Sharks one night, A's one night, Sharks one night, A's and Sharks on a Saturday. You know, those are the days. Should S.J. Sharkey take my place? In what? Does he want to babysit? No, you know what? I wouldn't even trust him for that. Would not. Absolutely would not. Kind of pissed you've been told you can't go to a Sharks game when they open up to fans because you live in Washington, even though you have season tickets. Didn't Georgia lose the All-Star game because of this? So I let me explain this. And this applies to Major League Baseball too. I know that you have to be a California resident to buy an A's ticket. And in fact, you have to be COVID tested or have proof of your vaccine to even go to a Giants game this year at Oracle Park. So let me just say that there are some varying restrictions based on where this game is being held, what counties it's in. There's a lot of different, government entities in charge here. But I just want to say, Mungo, you might be frustrated by that, but that's a pretty standard one for right now. I think they're encouraging people not to cross state lines if it means attending a sporting event, especially a sporting event indoors, with a higher concentration. I'm speaking way out of my league at this point, but I just want you to know that that's a pretty common restriction at this point for all sports. I hope by June or July it won't be, but clearly hockey season, the regular season, will be over by then. It's Masters Week. Am I into golf? Am I cheering for anyone? Oh, Marty, I'm so sorry. You know what? Over the years, several times, I've dabbled in golf, trying to play it. And that got me into watching it a little bit more to appreciate what the pros do. But then that also frustrated me because I can't even sniff that. So, you know what? I'm going to say, Marty, officially, I want to be into golf. I really do. I've got family members, I've got friends that really want me to get into it too. And I want to get into it too. I'm a little bit short on time these days to actually practice and get good at this. So I want to be, Marty, in my 40s. Maybe this is a next decade, the current decade type thing. What do I think about Dish Network having problems in canceling CSNBA? You mean NBCS, CA? So many letters. I'm going to be honest. I'm seeing tweets about this from people, and it was not even on my radar until that. I know nothing about this. And I know you guys would think, well, he was told not to say anything, or he can't talk about this. No, this issue, our network being on several different providers over the years, it's come up and it's gone away several times over. Not to point any fingers or blame anybody, but it happens. So I honestly don't know anything about why this is happening, whose fault it is, how to get it back. I just know that these things do get resolved, and typically they get resolved in a short period. Now, I can't speak to what is happening right now. I don't know the negotiations. I don't know who pulled what, who did what. But I know over time, it's a contractual situation. Those contracts expire, and then all of a sudden you have negotiations. And that's probably where it's at right now. So I apologize that I do not have anything to add to the conversation. If I could, I would, but I just don't even have anything for you. Favorite East Bay breweries? Just moved to the area and curious what you think is a good Or what do you think is good to get beer from, go to, etc.? Scott, that's awesome. Thanks for the question. Check out, depending where you're at, because they have a location in San Ramon. They also have one in Berkeley. Berkeley's their flagship. Check out Fieldwork. Really like Fieldwork Brewing. There's always something new. You can't go wrong. A lot of IPAs. That's kind of, to me, that's their wheelhouse for me. But they make a lot of different type of beers. I would also encourage you to check out Altamont Brewing. They're out in Livermore. And I don't know how the whole tasting room situation is right now, but if you want to stop by and pick up beers, that's an easy one. That's the way to go. So check out those two, as well as Danville Brewing, right off of 680 in Danville. They have something called Chuck's, C-H-U-X, Chuck's. It's a double IPA. Yeah. It's like drinking honey. Well, no, but it's not that like fruity or anything, but it's like nectar. Yeah. You feel right when you're drinking that. So highly recommend all three of those. And there's others. You know what? Drake's is good. They're in San Leandro. There's so many. I feel like I'm going to leave some out the farther I go here. So I'll just stop right there. Thoughts on March Madness this year, if I'm into that. You know what? For years, I thought the basketball tournament was the last remaining, like, honest thing of sports. Because inviting 64 teams and then eventually, a couple extras for the play and stuff, that's about as honest as it gets. It's a huge tournament. It's win or go home for everybody, every single game. And it wasn't based on polls or, there was all neutral sites. There was a fairness aspect to it. It's so genuine. It was so authentic. Even as opposed to college football, it's a bowl game and can you really have one national champion and you have like two other schools saying, well, why didn't we even get to play in this game? So I just think over the last couple years, watching college sports operate more like a business and seeing their reluctance to crack on things like taking better care of players or limiting players. I don't know. I'm not even speaking to college basketball at this point. I'm across the board collegiate athletics. The thought that, well, we're giving you this free education. Okay, but I mean, is it really worth $34,000 a year what you're giving? What people are paying for? I mean, just because they're paying for it, that's the market rate. A lot of people overpay for things. Look at most houses in the Bay Area. I mean, it's what people are paying for it. In reality, is it worth it? The whole system of college is weird too. I'm seeing interesting trends of, like, Google's going to have their own diploma curriculum, basically. You're specialized to something, and then Google's going to train you. They'll certify you, and then you go to an employer and say, well, no, I don't have a college degree, but I did all this training via Google. They passed me, and here's to show for it. It's interesting. Education's a big business. And college sports are a big business. I hate saying that. I know it's the lifetime opportunity for most of those kids who aren't going to the next level anyway. I get it. This is their, one shining moment. I get it. But that's why I think they have to be, I don't even know if compensated is it. There's just got to be something. It shouldn't be the whole, we give you a free education. Take that. It's worth something. Trust us. No. Then why are so many people getting rich off it? I don't know. I'll move on. Got to play some tennis with Crankshaft. I would be scared to play tennis against Douglas Murray. I don't want to see his serve from however far that is, like 110 feet on the other side. I don't want that coming at me. Tommy Wingle's birthday is coming up. Any chance you'll have him on for an interview? Michael, how do you know that? Did you look that up? I don't even know that it's his birthday coming up, but I trust you. That's, Tommy's a great guy. You know what? If I were still on the hockey season, we would have done that interview by now. But need you back on pre-post for the Sharks. I appreciate that, Caker Girl. Thank you. Please come back. I'll be coming back April 19th at the very least. There is that. Oh, if it makes me feel better, George Springer is still not played for the Blue Jays. No, it does not make me feel better. I don't wish any ill towards George Springer. And I don't wish any ill against the Blue Jays, Zach, even though I know you're rubbing in the fact that you have Marcus Semien and we don't anymore. Zach, I get it. Oh, shoot. Did I just skip a bunch of comments? Yes, I absolutely did. Where do I want to fly the most? Andyland. Maui? I don't think the planes I fly have the range to cross the Pacific Ocean and land at Kahului Airport. How about Tahoe? How about Santa Barbara? I'm just thinking closer to home here. Sedona, Arizona. There's some beautiful airports in the Pacific Northwest. There's a place up the California coast called Shelter Cove. That's another good one. Isolated, secluded, good for camping. I know I just named 5 places, or even more, but there you go. Thinking of making an intro video for the Sharks. I'm just worried about copyright strikes and stuff like that. What do you think of my idea? Puck up? Got to be careful saying that. It's not the Sharks that would get you. It's the NHL. And I think what they would do is put a copyright claim on your video. They wouldn't strike you or strike the channel. But if you're just going for views and people to watch it, I think that's fine. But if you're trying to monetize it, the NHL will monetize. They will monetize off your video. So if you want somebody else making money off of your editing because it's their game footage, that's probably what's going to happen. So I'm pretty sure that's the way it is. Don't quote me entirely, but that's why I try and stay away from using game footage of any sport on here, because those leagues are very tight about video usage. Some ways I get that. Some ways I absolutely do not. Where do I see the A's finishing this season? I mean, it's, at this point, my tilt is not good. But that's only because we've seen them play 2 of the best opponents in all of baseball, and they only have 1 win in 8 games. So, the months of May and June are going to give me a lot more clarity over all this, because you pretty much need to figure out that the rest of April, if you can get back to 500 by the end of April, you just got yourself out of a huge mess. And it might take the remaining, 3 weeks, almost 3 weeks to get you out of this. Win enough games to just get back to 500. So let's start there. If it's breezy or brizzy, I'm not trying to duck the question. What I'm saying is, I don't know at this point. And it could be worse than anybody wants me to say. Or it could be worse than I want to say. But I think you really need to give it until May or June to have a really good grasp on what they're capable of. East Bay all the way. Would you ever do an Instagram live and invite random fans to talk to you? Zach, you know what? I've done that. It's been a while. So that reminder then, since Zach brought it up, if you don't follow me on the gram, do it. And I'll do a Q&A sort of like this, but I'll have the fans on in the top window or the bottom window, however it works. I've done that before. I actually think that's really cool. The technology works out so well, and then everybody gets to see it. And everybody's pretty, polite, respectful. The other thing I was thinking about, now I haven't done this on my channel here yet, but I was thinking about this. I have a Google Voice phone number that I could easily give out to all of you. And then what you would do right now is call that number, and I could easily patch you in here to the YouTube live stream. Anybody interested in that? Let me know in the live chat. I'll eventually I got to catch up here on this live chat. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. What TV do I watch when I'm not watching sports? Okay, honest admission here. I never watched The Office when it was actually, in production. I never watched it. So my wife and I, for the last couple of weeks, have been going episode by episode. I didn't realize how many episodes of The Office there were. Is there like 9 seasons? Anyway, so I think on season 5 of The Office. Frickin' hilarious. I don't know how I missed that. I mean, I knew it was going on. I just didn't know it was that good. So my wife and I catch up on The Office these days. And we binge other shows, but that's the one we're currently on. Pinder's your favorite player at the moment. I just hope the knee gets better. Banged it up against the fence over the weekend. I agree, Julio. You know, and I think they are good, and I think they are good. That's the thing about it. That's the frustrating, you know, if you ask me, how do you describe your thoughts on the A's right now? I'd say frustrated, surprised, confused, maybe a little bit angry based on who they're losing to and what the scores of games look like. I mean, you know, losing by 4, 6-2, normally you'd say, hey, no sweat. But they've been giving up large numbers and not scoring large numbers. The run differential is hard to even fathom right now. B-Dog, you're going to get some sleep? Even though I won't get to this, you're right, until a few minutes later. You probably sent that 20 minutes ago. Oh, look what you also said here. You're named after Dallas Braden. I've met you before, and I remember you saying that. So there you go. And Dallas should be proud of that. I think somebody said they named their dog after me once, so I'll take it. It's not like a human life. Wait, Gary Bettman's here? Gary, when did you show up? Wait, let me give you some hockey. Hey, Gary! They don't really play charge at a hockey game like that. Anyway, let me turn off hockey practice there for a second. Which Young Sharks players do you foresee becoming fan favorites? Well, if you're saying young as in Mario Ferraro, I think he's in that category. John Leonard, probably in that same category. As I've departed away from Sharks on a daily and nightly basis, those are the two that instantly come to my mind. I may be able to add 1 or 2 more in there. But they fit the bill, Jared, on being young and being, you know, fan favorite variety. Do I think the A's new stadium build will help them build their core with Chappie and Ole? Look, it's hard to connect those two things right now because, you know, what is a player telling you, well, I'm not coming back unless there's a new stadium? What would that matter entirely for the player? But I think what it would do is it would send a message to the players. They obviously also have to get their contracts taken care of, but it would also, I think, to your point, build their core. I don't know that it's going to help with the negotiations entirely between those two, you know, cornerstone players, but I think what it might do is it might sell better in a wider sense, so that other players who want to join that core are like, man, new ballpark, play with those guys, get a couple wins, like I want to be part of this. So I think that's actually what the ballpark's going to do, more so than necessarily secure Chapman and secure Olsen. But I think for them, right, that's why they're into a new ballpark, because sure, facilities and all that stuff, and it means the team is serious about winning, but it also is like, hey, this is going to be a magnet for other players that they want to be here. And we alone, I'm putting myself in Chappie and Ole's shoes, we alone can't win you a title. We need the support, we need the whole team, you know, and buy-in, and this would get a team to buy in. So I think that's the biggest thing. Did the A's do enough with their pitching staff this offseason? I mean, it's so reminiscent of last year. We only haven't seen Mike Fiers yet. Cole Irvin didn't pitch poorly tonight. Kind of impressed, actually. Like, if he puts more of these outings together against different opponents, give him some run support next time, pitch with a lead maybe, that's another thing is no starter has really pitched with a lead. But then again, the starters have been giving up runs relatively early in games too, So you moved out of California. I can't watch the A's games, but I can watch the Sharks games. Doesn't make any sense to me. It must have to do, Jared, with your zip code, where specifically you live. There's different territorial restrictions for MLB, NHL, and NBA. And even that's something that I know loosely about, but I definitely don't know specifically about at any detail. I apologize about that. And that's another thing. It's kind of like the whole Dish Network comment from earlier. I wish I could help everybody out with all this stuff, or at least be more insightful, so you have some reassurance, but I honestly don't know anything about it. It would probably be like the chef at a restaurant, asking them about the lease for the building. They just show up and cook. I just show up and cook, basically. That's okay. I'm going to use that analogy pretty soon. Best NorCal airport that I've personally flown into. Truckey's fun. When you say best airport, like one with the restaurant that's really close, like Sacramento Executive or Watsonville or Half Moon Bay's got a nice restaurant in the field. In fact, you can walk to several more at Half Moon Bay. I'd have to really settle in and think about that. It's also been a while too. I like your icon there, Avocado Flight. I like avocados and I like flying. I like you. Thank you. Thanks for being here on the channel. So those ones I just named, probably. What's another one that I liked that I've flown into? I like flying into Oakland International, big runways. I don't know. And I've been to almost all of them. I don't know. What's another one that I could name that would be significant? Monterey, I like Monterey. It's a good one. Kind of sits up on a plateau. What's the story with the headband? Well, my hair is frickin' crazy. Haven't got a haircut since February of 2020. So 15 months. And the hair gets in my way. So it's just so much more convenient to put the headband on and be done with it. By the way, conditioner is great. I didn't realize what conditioner actually did till I had long hair. Actually, no, I take it back. I did know how I could benefit from conditioner because I've conditioned my beard before. And it makes the beard nice and soft. Playoff beard starts to get itchy and you fix it up. Yeah, but this hair in the back is silky smooth right now. It's look at it. Just actually here, can I just do that? Look at that. That is, come on, that's ridiculous. That is absurd. What am I doing? What's happening here? Honestly, if I showed myself this video in February of 2020, I'd be like, what? When is this? Who is this? How did that happen? In that order. All right. Wait, is Gary Bettman? Gary. Is that really you? Calling Gary. Hang on a second. Gary, is that you? Okay. All right. Don't want to get copyright busted there. I know I can play this one. Do I see Ferraro as a future captain of the Sharks? He's also a great role model for young hockey players in the Bay Area. Look, I love the fact that Mario's on YouTube. He's out there promoting in the off-season. He's just such a genuine person. The hustle, the grind. He's not faking it. He resonates with me. And so to answer your question, in the same way that I knew Logan Couture in literally 2010. I'm like, this guy someday, you watch, he could be a captain of this team. Now, it takes a lot of things to happen for that opportunity to even pop up. Rob Blake turned it over to Joe Thornton. Joe Thornton turned it over to Joe Pavelski, and then Joe Pavelski left. And then it's Logan Couture's turn. So I don't know, how many years that would be down the road or what would have to happen. But sure, does he possess the qualities right now? Yes. Do I think over all the years that, he and his game and everything have growing and evolution to go through? Of course. But I see it already. So if you're watching this video in 2029, I don't know. Sure, of course, I see him as a potential future captain. Definitely do. Oh my goodness, look at all of these comments I'm so far behind on. Give me 1 second, everybody. I apologize. Was I always an A's fan, or did I like the Giants before? Went to my first A's game in 1983, I want to say. That's what the ticket stub says. So I've got the receipts. There you go. Yeah. No, there's I take a lot of, how do I say this? I take a lot of pride in knowing that the A's don't always get the love, that they're not always the most popular team to side with or to talk about or to cover. I don't care. I'm not going to play for the most clicks, hits, and likes and all that stuff. I'm going to play to being genuine. So there's kind of the answer for you. I have never been to Brazil. I'd be interested. Looks fun. Someday, maybe. Do I think LeBanc gets traded? Did I not mention LeBanc earlier? I think I mentioned, Dubnyk, Nieto, Sorensen. I think the Sharks at this point, for any player that they would get a decent offer for, something in return for. It's not that they want to part ways with everybody, but I don't know that in years past, there were some untouchables. And there were a lot of untouchables. There were a lot of years where it's like, we're only adding. We're not taking away. In fact, Doug Wilson said that a lot. The accomplishment of that trade deadline for him was getting through it, adding something without having to remove one single piece from the current roster. This time around, I think more players than you would expect. The Sharks are open to just talking, and they have been talking. And clearly there hasn't been movement yet. My prediction, by the way, is that not a lot happens, including Patrick Marleau. I don't know. I'm still not saying it's impossible. But if you had to ask me right now, what day is it? It's April 8th. We're like literally realistically 3 full days away. No, wait, 9, 10, 11. No, 4 days away. Dummy. So do I think Kevin LeBanc gets traded? I would put the chances at likely no versus yes. But if it did happen, it would not shock me. The Sharks are trying to make room. They're going to change their team a little bit. And so they have hard decisions ahead of them. And if another team can get the value and get the production out of LeBanc that they think they can and are willing to give up for it, I think the Sharks are probably listening. Michael, I miss Marcus too. I miss the cap, especially right now, like going through this, and your mind instantly turns to the players that are not with you, your team anymore. I'm not saying that one player makes the difference in, losing 5 times to Houston by a 41-11 aggregate. I'm not saying that, but I do miss his presence. I do miss him on the field already. Who's the A's daddy still, Brody? Jeremiah, I'm going to assume that you may be from Houston and you don't even actually know who I am because you spelled my name wrong, even though is it like right here on the YouTube channel that you're watching, like on the page? So I know what you want me to say. I know. I think the Sharks will trade Patty at the deadline to get him a chance at the Cup. I've always said this. It's professional courtesy. If there's an opportunity and you present it to Patty and the Sharks are going to get some picks back and he wants to go, if he feels like this is it for him, you set Love free. I think you give him that. Why is the A's are struggling? Why is it that the A's are struggling? Jacob, I would it's twofold, and that's the hard part. It's not like they're catching up on runs and it's just, a track meet. Both teams are scoring. It's all their opponents are scoring and they are not. So I think you got to start, how you get out of this losing streak is you get a little bit of both. You got to score 5 runs one day. You got to score 7 runs one day. And your pitching staff has to, keep Houston or their next series against Arizona. You got to keep them to 2. You got to win a game 7-2. If you lose 6-2 today, you got to win 7-2 at some point. And I think Matthews got it half correct here. It's, Cole Irvin had a decent start. Offense didn't do much in the beginning part. So I can't necessarily say, well, it starts with pitching or it completely starts with the bats, because you're going to need one day. You're going to need a little bit of both. You're going to need help from both sides to narrow this gap. Dontrell Willis is with us tonight on pre and post game. He'll be back tomorrow, and I think he makes a great point though that a lot of it starts with the A's starter. Hold Houston off the scoreboard for 5 innings, get 2 runs before then, play with a lead, and see where the game goes from there. It's not something they're doing. Jacob. Michael left the office? I'm not there yet. Oh, no. No office spoilers. No office spoilers.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
You like that drop, by the way? That was not meant at you, Jacob. I just felt like playing that. Oh, man. Truth Hulu, the great dream. I'll just call you the great dreamer. You've been a fan for years and you love the content. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that with me. Honestly, it means a lot. It really does that you would say something like that. And, that we've known each other for a while. So thank you very much. Let me see here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, you're an Astros fan, Jeremiah. See how I knew that in your first comment? Back to greatness again. Did you hear that? Come on, have some fun with it. I don't even have a sound effect for that. See, I had to tap the desk. I don't have a trash can in here either. Let me see here. If you had to change the headband you're wearing right now to be neon color, which color would you choose? If, there's not really a neon blue, but maybe like a powdery blue neon, or I'll tell you the real one would be the same color as like those lights right there. Neon green. I feel like neon green or yellow. Those are clearly the best neon colors. Neon orange doesn't really do it for me. Red, there's no neon red. So neon green or yellow. That's definitely what I would say. Man, Jeremiah is talking smack here in the comments. Oh, right field, Will. What's up, man? When is the haircut happening? I believe the date is, let me just check here, Will. Haircut is scheduled for April 28th. So we are inside 3 weeks of the haircut. You excited about that or what? Yes. Brian, I will be, and I apologize to those who may have heard this already. I am coming back if, I like the way you put that, if Patty breaks the record on April 19th. When, Pat? If, you're right, if he does. When Patty breaks the record, you need to bring up that Gordie Howe debuted the Sharks jersey for the franchise. You know what? And did that happen at the Valco Mall? Is that where that happened in Cupertino way back in the day? Because that was an ice rink. Awesome. You're right. It was destined to be. Mr. Shark. Who would have known he puts on that jersey and then Mr. Shark breaks, one of his most coveted records. What's the most weirdest thing I've flown? The blimp was interesting. Oh, that's awesome that you saw that, the video. I wouldn't say that de Havilland Beaver is weirder than the blimp. It's probably more common than the blimp. The blimp was definitely the weirdest, most uncommon. Flew a beaver on floats. Loved that. Am I interested in paramotors? You know what? I'm more of an airframe guy myself. I like the bigger the, I like flying larger airplanes. It's just, you're more unaffected by turbulence. You have more control, wind, and I feel comfortable. Things happen at a quicker speed. The bigger the plane, the faster you're generally going in all aspects of the flight, the faster things happen. Departures, climb outs, approaches, landing. And I feel up to speed for those type of, those quicker paced flights. So I don't just say, well, I like flying big airplanes. I like flying big airplanes because they're a little bit more challenging. They get you there faster, obviously, and I'm up to speed on them. So I would say that's the preference. Best singer on the team, Austin. On what team? Our team? I don't know. I guess if you mean Sharks and A's, I don't know who the best singer on the Sharks would be. Mario would probably belt out a tune. Can't see Bernsey doing it. Carlson, maybe? Jumbo back in the day. That's a really good question. I bet you Hurdle probably sings in the shower and the car. He seems like it. He probably does like, he's probably still on like Gangnam Style. He's probably several years behind us. He's probably got a CD player. Very nice car, I'm sure, but probably has a CD player in there. I don't know. I'm just, you know what? Just dream with me here for a second. And if my jokes are terrible, then there you go.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
All right. Let me see what else I can get to here. Why don't I get a haircut? Well, Satan, or Satan, I don't know. I just, the whole pandemic happened last year. And let me explain this. What really happened was I got so deep into not getting a haircut through the end of baseball season, and I knew hockey wasn't going to start in October, and I knew I was going to be off for a couple months. I was like, the heck with it. Just not going to do it. I'm just going to roll with it. I can't believe it's been this long. I'm just going to keep it going. And then hockey started kind of on not a whim, but and it started at the very worst time of the pandemic. So that kind of ruled out a haircut because barbers won't even open back then. And I realized I could have had somebody else do it, but either you roll with a long haircut or you roll with a really bad haircut, potentially. So I've passed on it this entire time. Then vaccines came out and I realized, well, you know what? At this point, I might as well just hold off until I'm all done with that process. So that's kind of where we're at now. And when I say that too, I mean, I'm honestly less cautious about myself and all that. I'm more concerned and more cautious about the people around me in my entire decision-making process. Do I see the Sharks letting young guys play more and also rebuilding to try and get a young and fast team, kind of like the Avs are? Look, the Avs also have, a Landeskog and McKinnon, the right players for that type and style of team. I think you are going to see, down the stretch of 56 games, if the Sharks have any indication that they are not logistically out of it, but actually numerically out of it, then yeah, I think you spend most of the rest of your season trying to get those guys in, experienced, and at that point, what do you have to lose? At this point, you're still trying to squeeze every last ounce of what you have into making it. So I don't know that yet is that right answer or that opportunity even, but I do feel like they wouldn't hesitate if that made the most sense. Oh, Michael. Eric Chavez or Matt Chapman? Holy smokes. That's a great question. By the way, how lucky are we to have witnessed, the very beginnings of both those players? Eric Chavez, is it 6 Gold Gloves? I don't even know how many he ended up with, but, I think Chappie can get there. God, that is a really, Both have power. I mean, both had range. What is it? And what's the difference of Chappie and what is the difference actually? Like, does Chappie have a really good arm? Maybe that, I'd probably side on Chappie's arm. Range seems equal. I mean, I remember so many plays Xavi made on the tarp in foul territory, jumping over it. I remember plays he made in the hole, going to his left. The whole dive, get up, spin, throw. I would also say that Chappie has it tougher in the age of 2021 where he's shifting a ton. He's playing shortstop a lot right now. I mean, not actually playing shortstop, but in that position. Like he turned to, how many 4-5-3 double plays did we see over the weekend? It's hard. That's a great one, though. We should do that on television someday. We probably will, Michael. Thanks for bringing that up. Sad not seeing Brownie for the rest of the hockey season. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to hang out with the guy on April 19th. Is this what the Astros fans wanted to hear? All right, let's see what else we have here. And then I'm going to sign off because holy smokes, it's past 11 and I'm tired and thirsty. Yes, they're still planning on opening up Howard Terminal. Twofold on issues remaining. Need to get the environmental impact report approved and passed. The city of Oakland is part of that. The other thing, too, is that the A's are trying to buy, the city of Oakland currently owns 50% of the Coliseum land. And somebody needs to acquire that so that the A's can develop that as part of their plans for the other half of this project. I mean, it's really a twofold project, Coliseum land and Howard Terminal, to move out of one, to move into the other. So those two things need to happen. Need fans at the tank. You know what? I don't know how it's going to time out. I really don't. We're a month away from the end, exactly a month away from the end of the regular season. If the Sharks could pull it off for 2 weeks, would they? I think they would. I just know that it would be a lot. I just want to say this on behalf of the team. It would be a lot of work to get your whole arena up and running for fans again, for only 2 weeks' time. How many games is that? So. But if it means that they can welcome you back in, I know they want to do it. I know they want to. I know they want to do it safely. If you're asking me the team's perspective, I don't want to speak for them, but I'm pretty sure that's an accurate comment. Shave the head, Will. You think I'm really going to shave the head? Where is it here? Oh, that wasn't it. This is how you feel, by the way, when you get a vaccine. This is how you feel. It literally feels like that. Braid it up? If I had to pick one bearded sidekick, would I pick Dallas or would I pick Curtis? Hey, Brownie, I'm throwing you under the bus. Yeah. You think I'd pick Curtis Brown as my sidekick? You mean Robin? Too many sound effects. You hate the shift in baseball. I don't know that I hate it once in a while, but I've been at 5 A's games, 6 A's games, whatever, however many A's games I've been at this year. Both teams shift on basically every player. It's rare to see any position player straight up on their position on any regular basis, or if ever. Like the right fielder's always shading one way, the left fielder's always shading another way. I just, to even see, was it tonight? Was it Mitch Moreland who just blasted one right at Altuve, who was standing about 25 to 30 feet in the grass in short right field. That's so frustrating. What's the game of baseball? I mean, I appreciate this study. I appreciate the research. I appreciate the gamesmanship of the Astros knowing and Altuve knowing like where exactly to play. But I don't know. And I guess on the flip side, if it's like if you know the entire, if they're shifting you pull and you're pop the P, if you're shifting you pull and the entire infield is on the right side and you're a left-handed batter, just lay one down the third baseline and take your free base. I guess I get that too. We'll be playing their last game as a Shark on Saturday. I don't know. And I hate to even think of it like that. I really hate to even think of it like that because I know, this is it's a rough time of year approaching trade deadline for any professional athlete. I know what you're going to say. It's part of their job, part of the territory, comes with it. They make a ton of money. I get it. Playing a job or playing a game for a job, I get it. Doesn't make it any easier in the human aspect of all this. It really doesn't. One thing that I want to do here really quick. Let me take that off the screen here for just a second. Let me see if hello. I want to, let me see if I can bring this up for just a second. There it is. Would a live stream be better if I could do a little bit of this? Let me see if you guys can hear this one for a second. Yep, there it is. You are watching the live stream of Brody Brazil. Curtis Brown is what I want to say. Curtis Brown is a numbskull. What would Darth Vader say? I don't even know. How do you like some of these effects, by the way? Ooh, I'm in an alleyway. Yeah, this would be annoying. Oh, now I'm upstairs in the apartment. Hey, we're having a party. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. It's hard to listen to. This one's called Breath of Fresh Air. This would be like if I was in SAP Center all by myself. I just had a microphone. Oh, say, can you see? That's awful. Dark ambiance. Drums in a vat. Ooh, that's weird. Ooh, ghost voice? This is like Stranger Things. We're coming to get you, 11. Was that her name? 11? I forget. Heaven and earth. Why would you even, by the way, why would you even watch me do this? What are you guys doing right now? Tight drum room. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Slapback. That one's not good. Rock barn. Office theater drum room. Long tube. Oh, this is a totally separate one. Whoops. Anyway, this is I am your father. Curtis, I am your father. Okay. Clearly I need to stop doing this. I really need to stop. Okay. How do I reset this here? So dumb. Honestly, what am I doing? What on earth am I doing? Let me go back to the live chat. Oh, you want some you want some ASMR? I don't have two microphones for you, but I also probably need to turn this one way up if I'm actually going to do ASMR. Do you guys even know what ASMR is? Do most of you know? I got hooked into this like a couple weeks ago, and I just watch a ton of ASMR videos. I guess I need to get even closer to the mic here. Also, I don't have the settings right, and usually there's also a second mic that you put one on the left channel, and then you put the other one on the right channel, and you go back and forth, and you can do like all this like It's really creepy. Anyway, okay, sorry. Sorry. There's a lot of stream delay? Is there issues with the stream? Oh, I see. Oh, Isaiah, I think it's because I don't answer the questions instantly. Sorry. Why haven't you seen Stomper at the Coliseum? I don't know. You know what? And I know mascots like SJ Sharkey. Sharkey's not been allowed into hockey games this year so far. So you left an ASMR video. For this live stream, it's 1:20. So be kind. Do you need me to do some ASMR for you? Do you need some music here? What can I? Actually, there's no music on ASMR. What kind of dumb comment was that, Brazil? Do you want me to do like? Actually, here, give me 1 second. Sorry, I know you're going to see some weird stuff there on the screen. Let me take that off real fast. You need birds? Do you need the ocean? Oh, idiot. Okay, that's pretty loud. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a storm hits. That one is ridiculous. Man, it is so loud in here. All right, sorry. Sorry if I blew anybody's ears out there. I honestly have no clue what I'm doing. Okay. Are we signing off here? What are we doing, Brazil? What are we doing here? There's a new Ghostbusters movie coming out? I know they came out with the reboot several summers ago. I don't know if I'm going to go to any movies anytime soon, but if I were the Sharks GM, what would I do at the trade deadline? I'd play it super conservative, super smart. Somebody wants to do something that helps me, I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to go out and like force the issue at this point. Unless you know how you're going to change the direction of your team, making moves just to do them, I don't think is prudent at this point. You're going to have to probably make some difficult decisions that are better left for the summer. And I don't know that the trade deadline is going to offer you that opportunity to really do what you want to do with your team. If you can make moves now to help for the future, do it. But I don't know that this is their most opportune time. Okay. Well, you know what? That is going to do it for the live stream, everybody. Honestly, I really appreciate everybody for hanging out tonight, sticking around, and plenty more content here on the YouTube channel. A's, Sharks, whatever you want to discuss next time. Maybe we'll play a little Super Mario next time. I'll get into my gaming, or do I need a Twitch channel for that? I got to get a Discord server, apparently, and a Twitch channel. If I do those things, I guess I'll be like everybody else. All right. That does it for me. Really appreciate, again, you stopping by. And I will see you tomorrow. A's and Astros game 2 of the series. I don't know if I'm going to get copyrighted busted playing that, so I'm just going to stop it. All right. I'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Have a good night.